and welcome to Empowered by My Design, a platform where we come together to discuss the beauty of understanding our unique human design and our unique differentiation, which helps us to recognize our beauty, divinity, power, vision, purpose, and all in all, it helps us achieve and reach more fulfillment in our lives. We're discussing today, we're really putting this energy of trusting in our process. So being two splenic projectors, we are here to honor our nature. And in the process of learning how to honor our nature, we learn to honor other people's nature and help other people to enjoy the uniqueness of their nature, which is trippy because as much as I would say this and it's logical, the conditioning that I've been under all my life and probably previous lives, who knows, has tried to prove otherwise, that we are meant to compete, that we're meant to listen to the same truth, right? So we're meant to follow what others have already proven, or at least maybe their own truth, but they got some kind of credit for, and then they became the authority. And then you're kind of by default energetically, especially this last 411 years, where that kind of tribal follow, like you really had to fit in, right? You had to show that you recognize the leader. That was kind of like for survival purposes. And what trips me out about human design is that it shows us that those things fluctuate. It's not the truth for eternity. It was the truth for 412 years, which we're still at the very tail of it. But it's trippy to be alive at this moment in time as a projector, to feel, sense, and also by invitation, guide this shift, guide how to work with it, right? So we have like this really beautiful gift to recognize and learn and be aware of this, and then empower others. So it's part of Empowered by My Design, is that we come together with this intention of empowering folks to recognize the magic in their uniqueness. And so today we really want to talk to you more about what we do individually, what we bring to humanity as, individuals, as differentiated beings. Both Colleen and I, we're both splenic projectors. And besides that, we're unique beings. We're different from each other. And we are here to also support each other from a place that no longer wants to compete, because that's exactly the point that we're doing this. We're breaking the conditioning that says that, we need to prove something to be recognized. In fact, we don't need to prove anything. We just need to be ourselves and recognize ourselves from within, because we both have the qualities we were born with that are so needed for their differences. So we're going to do our best today to share with you what those qualities are. And Colleen, I'm inviting you to share a little bit more deeply about your journey and, you know, for everyone to learn about your magic and about your, you know, your gifts for everyone. I mean, I could talk about you. If you want, I can also share more afterwards, but I'd love to hear it from you first. What's coming up for you right now to share?
Wow, what a beautiful introduction. Thank you. Of course, I would love to hear what you have to say as well, because, projectors, it's always great to have a fellow projector share what they see in you. So, I appreciate that introduction and just touching on the shifts going on in the collective and in the world, and also the shifts that we're all feeling within ourselves. The outer world is changing, and so is our inner reality, and our inner worlds are being asked to change as well. And going through these changes and transformations, it's, it looks different for everyone. And so much of what projectors are here to do is to do the inner work. I mean, that's really our soul work, is to go through our process of deconditioning so that we can become open and receptive and available as guides to others, and to really focus on our mastering our interests so that we can use that kind of medium, whatever that medium is, whether it's art, whether it's a system, a study, just using that as a medium for guidance. And really, the guidance is just all about tuning into another being, sensing into who they are, and offering them some kind of way to shift their energy toward their best version of themselves. And that's the true success of the projector. So, coming into my own deconditioning process and my studies of human design, I am so passionate about offering this because I see so much in other people. I see so much greatness and potential, and it's just right on the other side of their shadows, or their challenges, their patterns or behaviors that are not serving their best interests for their true self to shine through, like their true purpose and their true fulfillment to shine through. And it's just right there, and sometimes it just takes that nudge, that loving nudge of, I see that, I encourage that, I empower that, I support that in another person. And that's what both of us offer, that love and warmth and support through our process of guiding. So, and the only way we can be available for that is through our own practices. Like, we have to become open and available. We have to, take on and embody this practice for ourselves first, to show, like, this has truly changed my life. So I'm definitely here to show through my experience how much it's changed me, and to, offer everything I've learned from my past and my mistakes and my experimentation with human design and my knowledge of human design. I'm just here to offer that for others. So yeah, I'm really excited to share more specifics, but that's just a little intro from me.
Mhm. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, the thing with projectors is that we're gifted with the ability to see the other. So even in our connection, we oftentimes support each other and really utilize our nature to lean on each other. And so a lot of times when I connect with Colleen, I always constantly being reminded of the beauty of her unique nature. And what I see in Colleen is, first of all, immense maturity. Colleen is 17 years younger than me, which is kind of an amazing detail. And when I tap into myself at 32, I recall, well, I was in very different, there's no there's no comparison here. There's no, it's not from comparison, but I just have so much appreciation for the fact that it at this age, with the stuff that a person can go through in their early 30s, instead of being reckless or instead of taking what other people say is true, Colleen is really paying attention to the truth within her. So I feel that for folks who are in their 20s and 30s, it's such a gift to be able to tap into Colleen's work, because the world we live in, we're all on our own journey, but we all need support. And so if you're in, and even not just 20s and 30s, if you're in your 40s and 50s, you would benefit from learning from somebody in this stage of life who is really deeply looking at the nature of their thoughts. Because what we're doing with human design deconditioning is paying attention to our tendencies, right? We're literally breaking the like we're analyzing and we're breaking apart all the different phenomena. We look at them very deeply, because through understanding we grow, and through understanding we evolve, and we can support, and we really see the potential of another. And another thing to repeat from before is that, projectors are the only energy type that has the capability of see into the complexity of humanity. It's just our energetic nature. And this is something you can learn through the human design lens when you're looking into the, specifications of what the auras are and each role of each aura. So as two projectors, we recognize this. And so I definitely see in Colleen, in her time in her life, that even though there's also a lot of curiosity to learn, because Colleen is unconsciously in her phase of the on the roof 6 line, and it's a really powerful place to be a conscious on the roof projector who is really taking, kind of like going a little bit aside. What is on the roof? It means like you're watching from the side and you're observing reality, right? You're observing the game. That's what projectors are really here, is to like watch the game, observe it, and call it. And so I think for people who want to deeply understand the human nature, and they want to work with somebody who recognizes the gift in awareness, like starting young, so that you can really build, and that when you're in your, hopefully in your 40s and 50s, you feel kind of grounded, and I really appreciate that, because I'm 49 and I started my deconditioning journey in my mid 40s, and this level of intensity. So I really appreciate that about Colleen, and I think that that's a really beautiful gift to, to share with the world. So that's something that I wanted to mention. And it's not even regarding so much her design. It's more regarding her overall level of awareness that I'm really appreciating. And with regards to her design, I appreciate our ability to share so intimately, and our ability to see each other with regards to having the same authority. We're both splenic. And so that's really, to me, it's such an asset in my life. And I've always felt seen by Colleen. I've always felt that she's very grounded. She's present and she really cares. And so, highly, highly, highly recommend folks to, to reach out to her because she's an asset, you know. But I'm gonna have more things to say. I just want to let you say more if you feel like right now to talk more about your specifics. If you want to talk about the way that you work with people.
Thank you for that recognition. That is so touching. Thank you so much for seeing that in me. And yeah, I would love to talk about just specific offerings at the moment. I am currently offering one-on-one readings, which is just a great container to for someone to feel deeply seen by me and also to learn more about their human design in very specific ways and ask me questions, like pick my brain, and also a time to just talk through some things as well. The different one-on-one readings are the foundation reading, which is the first recommended reading. And after that reading, you're able to get a incarnation cross reading, which is essentially a life purpose fulfillment reading. You can also get a solar cycle reading, which is like a birthday special for a kind of weather forecast, if you will, for the transits of the year. And also a connection analysis reading, which is like a relationship reading. And this can be for not just romantic partners, but family, coworkers, friends. And it's a really deep space to get to know your connection with someone. And this actually is between not just myself and another person, but the two people involved. Unless you're a manifester, then it could just be with the manifester and their impact. So that's a lot of reading offerings, but I'm really excited to offer these.
How many are there?
There's 4 different kinds of readings at the moment. I highly recommend starting with a foundation reading. If you've already had one from another professional in the field, then we can just go into a different type of reading, but I'll probably want to like chat and get to know you first. And I really just genuinely want to get to know people and connect and share this knowledge of human design. So that's the readings I'm offering. Also, I have been working on a little short course that I'll be excited to share soon when that's available for anyone that is brand new to human design. So, yeah, stay tuned for those offerings. And I'm also very excited that Ruti and I, are working on a potential in-person gathering that I would love to hear if you would like to share more about that and just how we can connect the human design offerings with the sound healing offerings that Ruti has as well, because she offers this really very, very unique container that is called aura tuning, which human design readings are all about your aura, your design as a unique individual and how to align with that being that you're given essentially a map. And it's very conceptual, it's very heady, and it takes a lot of experimentation and presence to get into and embody this map you're given with your human design. So something that Ruti offers is integrating that conceptual design into your being and opening up different parts from within your body to really like almost like pull out the layers of conditioning and kind of clean out the energy centers and energy systems of your body so that you can recenter, realign with your truth. And this is all done with the focus, the intense projector focus on a unique chart, right? So when you're getting an aura tuning session, this is very different from just your usual singing bowls, right? This is someone knowing your design, what it looks like, and sensing into the person right in front. So I had aura tuning done, which was just amazing. And Ruti got to focus on my design and me being present in front of her. So she could really feel into my design and where I needed to like let go. And she just filled the space with this very centering and aligning, very heartfelt frequency with her cello playing. And it was so moving that I really felt like a loss for words for a long time afterward. And it took time for me to really describe how centered I felt. It was like all of the conditioning was ripped away, and I was just the natural core of who I'm meant to be, which is essentially the design, right? Like the design we're given is the core of our apple. So it's a really beautiful embodied practice for experiencing alignment that you can then take that feeling you get in that moment and take it into your daily life with you. So it's quite a treat to have that offering and to be considering not only the offerings Ruti offers one-on-one, but also a group experience maybe in the future. So yeah, would
Mm.
you like to share any more about your offering and our joint offering?
Wow. Thank you. First of all, I really appreciate that beautiful share and recognition and that image of the apple core that every one of us is like an apple and every one of us has a core that represents the truth of who we are. And as you were talking, I just felt so much gratitude because it's describing the gift that's really God given, like all of us, or whatever you want to call it, the source, the source of all creation, that we all have unique gifts for a reason. And the biggest part of deconditioning for me is to really anchor in that. We are so far from embodying that aura tuning is really intended for us to embody that more. Because we can easily intellectualize for 24/7. Like we can learn things, we can, you know, become conscious through our information absorption, but there's a whole other side to us, which even in the human design chart, you see the conscious side and you see the subconscious side. The subconscious side is the body. It's the true of our design is that we have to consider both. We have to work with both. And so imagine if you could really just feel your nature from your body without your mind. Or at least if it's with the mind, it's a supportive way. It's not against, because we're learning how to balance both and we're learning how to really acknowledge both. And so aura tuning intends for that. It intends to bring clarity from both sides. And because it's very much connected to the magic of sound. And I'm just here as a, what do you call it? I'm just a conduit, right? I'm allowing this quality that's within me, which is the energy of transmission between gate 26 and gate 24. It's very much an ability to, in the moment, share a gift for my people, and with the sensitivity that I have in my solar plexus that's really wants to connect very deeply and is experimenting. It's gate 22 in the third line. It's experimenting with how to connect. So it's this, and then I have gate 48 four times, which is the depth of the intuition, the well of the wisdom that's within the soul. And it all comes through the playing. And there's also gate channel 1858, which is that intention for collective optimization. It really wants to help the collective to make the most of life, you know? And that's in my Mercury. So it's all about communicating that through the sound. And so it's like I was born to do this. I was born to communicate this way. I was born to deliver this, you know, and I'm a classically trained professional cellist who came to the US thinking she's here to develop her cello performance career in the kind of conservative way. And then it dawned on me, as life would teach you slowly, that there's a lot more to what you thought is on your journey, on your path. And it really revealed to me this quality of the magic in consciousness expansion. I went through this miraculous journey of diving really deeply into studying self, studying the mind, studying what is this mysterious thing called spirit, you know? And from quite young, 23, right after I graduated from college, which is a really profound and and renowned school, the New England Conservatory of Music. I wasn't dreaming to go into spirituality, but my awakening and my realizations as years went by, as time went by, as I was paying attention to my life, is that I was meant to get introduced to um, a deeper way of being me and serving as whatever it is that I am. And I happen to be a musician. And so this just to give you a little bit of a background to how it all evolved in my 3D life. And given that I was very called to understand myself deeper, close to my Uranus opposition time, where I was really feeling like, you know, there's a lot about my journey that really I went through a lot of different kind of conditioning in an environment that was challenging. It was really expanding and really like I got to see myself, but it was also very challenging as a projector, and that's something that we talk in other broadcasts, and we might talk about more in this broadcast. But back to our topic and what you brought up before, aura tuning is really coming from this journey of really wanting to serve the best, serve as my truest self. And what is this truest self? And that's where human design came to really assist me in understanding. And so we're talking about a very, very deep inner journey, and the intention is to make sense of it. The intention for me, like I believe that every person is here to make sense of life in their own way, right? Like there's no one way and there's no one truth. We're here to support each other through the wisdom that we're gathering. And so aura tuning intends to empower every individual in alignment with their nature. It's intended to help every individual be supported by understanding their gifts, and especially to feel it through the bodies, especially to like get into a whole other level of self-understanding, self-awareness, which is kind of, I feel like it's a powerful time right now to be talking about things like that, because cosmically we're being supported for this level of growth. And I very much believe that we're all not accidentally here when we are. Like, you know, we only know what we know, and we can, there's certain things that we can say that come from deep inside, and there's no way to prove it. But it's very much about your inner journey with yourself, and how you see, how you make sense of life, and how healthy you feel with this journey. Because ultimately, we're not the body. We're temporarily in this body, but we're going through this magical evolutionary process. We're born for a reason. And I feel like this life is so much more precious than we sometimes realize. Or I don't know, I think for me in my life, I'm constantly being blown away by this, and humbled, to realize that every moment in life is precious, and I feel that the more I can bring the quality of presence to people, the more I can really help them anchor in the meaning of the quality of presence, the better I serve as the true being that I am in my differentiated nature. And that took a lot of self awareness, a lot of self study. And so that's what I'm helping others with. I want to help others understand their uniqueness, their magic, to the deeper levels within them, to really dive deeper in a way that's loving, that's supportive. It's a really, like, I create very safe containers for people to experiment. I'm also 1-3 profile. That's the experimenter, investigator, experimenter profile. So this is pretty, aligned with this nature. And to really bring celebration into experimentation, and to open to the magic that's possible when we are reminded of our godliness. Every person is a magical being, a godly, magical being. And imagine if we could live with this level of consciousness where we really recognize each other's godliness, So aura tuning intends to tune out any distortions and conditionings and limiting beliefs that are standing in the way of recognizing our godliness. I know it's kind of a tall order, to be in this industry of you could say self-empowerment or self-awareness, but the truth is that it's totally possible. It's totally within us. We've just been conditioned against ourselves. And we're now at a time in our collective evolution where we're seeing this, not just the only channel you'll hear this. We're seeing this all over, that this is what's coming up right now. We're starting to really tap into our powers, So this is really to support that. And with Colleen, I feel that our work can be so beautifully intertwined. We want to offer this in different, different capacities, because the truth is that we can do this anywhere. In all it takes is to create the space for that, right? To bring people together. And what we're intending to do is we're bringing the human design awareness. We really want to share our enthusiasm of how much it helped us in our lives from direct experience. And of course, to help everybody understand the foundation of it, because it's very, like, energy mechanics is very logical. It's actually very easy to use once you see it, like once you can actually, it's like a huge puzzle, or like a sacred geometry puzzle, that everything fits, everything works in a cosmic order. And so we just want to educate as many people with this tool, you know, and there's so many ways that you can use this tool. There are applications that are really easy to use, that have lots of information in them, and there are communities, people that are experimenting with the system for different lengths of time, that are relating with each other, talking about their journey. And there's obviously social media where you can find a lot of people talk about their journey and teaching. And but the ultimate with regards to really make the most of it is to recognize amongst you the projector guides, because projectors is the one aura type that is aurically designed to see the other amongst all the auras. And so this means that if you really understand this foundationally, you can really benefit from what only a projector can give you. And it requires trust, yes. It requires openness, yes. But it is a matter of understanding first in order to go there, you know. And obviously, you want to choose a frequency you resonate with. So I believe in, like, I believe that you can gain from every frequency. I think that especially when you understand the foundations of human design, and if you understand what it's about, then you should be able to really work with as many guides as possible, because it will only support you. You know, there's people that I know in this area of study that have had readings with multiple teachers, and they're very enriched for it. So again, we're not here to compete. We really want you to understand the magic of what's embedded in the gifts of human design. So in these retreats that Colleen and I are going to offer, this is the kind of space of empowerment where we're going to really help you understand this. And so we're still building this, so I'm not going to go too much into the details of how it's going to be exactly orchestrated, right? But you can be sure that there's going to be a thoughtful kind of like orchestration of different elements that we feel are going to support audiences at different levels of understanding human design. But it's really to kind of use human design as the anchor for the consciousness that we're bringing forward. And it's exciting because we are seeing this, you know, we are talking about this, we are recognizing this, and we're just naturally excited. I'm naturally excited about this. So I'm excited to hear what you have to say now about this.
Oh, thank you. There's so much there. Like, just I want to first touch on one part. You mentioned we are not the body and that teaching. And I wanted to go into the specifics of like why, why work with a projector, right? Because if we are not the body, then why are we in the body? And you can't just disassociate and leave. Like, we are born in this container, in this package of who we are in this lifetime. So you actually have to get to know this body. You have to get to know this person that you are, in the holistic being that you are, and go through the process of self-awareness before you can realize and surrender to this like incarnation, and realizing that, yes, we are not the body. However, we're working through. Our purpose is working through, not just we, not just I, but our purpose is working through this body. So that's why it's so important to become embodied. And human design offers a start with the mind, with mental awareness. When you look at your design and you get to know the concept and you get to know the layout and the map of your design, you get to have this mental awareness of your body first, which can be extremely helpful for those who are like myself. I disassociated so easily for so long and didn't really relate with what I was feeling in my body. So looking at this mentally, becoming aware, and then trying strategies you experiment with in your daily life, and going through this experience that Ruti offers of just tuning into your body in a very aware, very intentional space, very safe container to feel into the different crevices of your being and get familiar with that. Because then once you become like more aligned is what we call it, but a state of just being your truth of who you are, whatever your design is, whatever that truth feels like for your body, it should feel so natural and so flowing. And everyone has a different rhythm and a different pace, but it just happens through you without force, without tension and resistance, and it just occurs. And getting to that place feels, for me, it feels easy. It feels like so much ease. And it took me that time of both mentally and physically embodying. And the process of embodying is not just getting into the truth, it's also letting go of what's not your truth. So a lot of what we offer is not just seeing your truth and empowering that, but also seeing what needs to be let go of, right? Especially as splenic projectors. So, little fun thing about projectors is that what we are projecting into another person is our definition. We have penetrating auras, so we are penetrating the other. That's how we're designed to see, is we penetrate with our gifts of our definition, and then we absorb and take in our openness. And so we can absorb and sense into the other person. So like, for example, with Ruti's playing, she can penetrate with her heart channeling this awareness, and her very heart-centered awareness comes through her music and through her practice of presence. So that's where it's our responsibility to first become embodied and become present as our beings, because we are going to penetrate with our presence and with our gifts so that you can really taste what this is like to be seen and to be felt. And, it's really amazing to try to describe this, but the amount at which we can take in the other in our openness is so deep. It's so deep. Like, we can really, like, I used to think that I became another person. That's how deeply I could absorb someone like a sponge. And now with this gift, there's a way to translate it that makes sense. It's not just, oh, let me feel into you. It's let me feel into you and breathe back out what I see, and that is so priceless. It's so valuable, right? So again, as an example with Ruti's playing, like, she will actually penetrate with her heart awareness, right? And the value and the worth of being alive and being in a body and being just healthy and well and full and abundant, right? And that is something that you feel so strongly that it just casts out all of the other shadows, all of the other falsities, and all of the other limiting beliefs, right? So you can walk away feeling this full heart and this full abundance. And that is at the core the truth of every being. So finding that is the divinity, right? Like, that is the God in all of us that you speak of. So I just wanted to get more specific to human design mechanics, right? Like, why go to a projector? And both of our offerings as splenic projectors are very different. We both have very different definitions, like channels. We have very different ways of, penetrating awareness into the other. So it's just depends on what you're looking for, right? So that's the beauty of, trusting your own process of who you find as a guide. And offering these in-person experiences together means you get both of our gifts. So it's just an amazing opportunity to experience it all.
I love it. I was just so much I want to reflect on, but before that, I would love for you to share with everyone about your definitions. Like, I want people to really hear where your magic is in your nature. I mean, they can hear it as you're speaking, obviously, but with regards to your offerings.
Thank you. So I have the channel of the wavelength, which is 1648. That is the spleen to the throat, and it is the collective wavelength. So I see depth and talent, and I often see that in others. And this is something that I pick up when I'm with someone. I can see their gifts and their talents, and I can see what also might be, in in trend in the collective. So that's one of my channels. And then another one is the 2343 from the throat to the ajna. And that's the channel of structuring. It can come off as genius or freak, depending on the audience. However, this works well in my creative field because I also have spent a long time as an artist and I express creatively and I teach others how to express themselves creatively. So you may hear that in my voice where I'm structuring things in a way that comes out very concise and maybe metaphorical way. This is something where I can take what I'm sensing in a person and I just kind of shift it. It's almost like a puzzle piece that I rearrange in my head and send it back out. So the gift of that is making sense of things, right? Like making sense of something that clicks for another person. They can have this mental awareness of what's going on, and usually how that comes out in my guidance is something in your daily life or something that's more of a like physical world event or creative practice or a work project or something like of that nature, really seeing the big picture of it and just kind of turning it into this package that is approachable that you can really see, oh, this is what I'm doing here. Like I can take all of a person and just really summarize it into like, this is your offering. This is how this is making sense for you and for your fulfillment. And that can be really empowering for a person because it's like having almost like a package all of a sudden of who you are. Like if you could bottle up the essence of who you are and I can just like send it to you, that kind of thing is something I really enjoy doing. And it's hard to put that into words, but that is what I experience in what I'm projecting, what I am penetrating, my awareness. And also another thing that's a gift of my openness is having a completely open G center. I like to talk about this because I can really like identify very easily with many people because I really have this openness to really like feel who they are, and why they are and what they are. And that makes for a really open space, right? Like I'm very welcoming, very open to all kinds of people and ways of being for that reason. And I really love that about my energy as well. So
Love it. And I would add, Colleen is a 4/6 Splenic Projector with a cross of contagion. So put 4/6, which is the a really like connective personality, right? So very like a talent. It's I think fourth line personality is some kind of a talent in networking, and it's a quality of connecting. And then add to that the contagion, which basically means it's like she and others around her get really excited about things. It's very contagious. And I can feel it, especially with regards to that conscious sun gate in gate 29. Gate 29 is the power of knowing the power of yes, really. So that's how I see it. It's a sacral power. And it's got to do with the journey of understanding what's worth saying yes to. So that's another thing Colleen brings in her energy. And and a lot of the teachings when it comes to projectors, because projectors are really different from manifestors in a sense that they have an undefined sacral, but when you have a power to the throat, it's not coming from like a motor. Like the manifestor will have this energy to make things happen. They're like, let's go for it, Projectors are not here to initiate and to inform. They're here to see and feel energy. And because of that, we're so easily conditioned by others because our aura goes into them. That's another thing, is that manifestors don't have this quality in their aura. So yeah, they're sensitive to energies, but they don't penetrate. So the thing with projectors is when, you're around them, you can't help but experience this like sharp focus that they'll have on you, which lots of people love. It's like this quality of attention. Some people are suckers for it. So I feel that if you recognize a projector, and right now we're talking about Colleen, if you recognize the gift of this contagious energy that's like really have this kind of like a space of, like experimenting through connecting with people and having like this thirst for life, right? And she's somebody who really observes human nature. And I definitely feel that in your frequency, and I think it's just beautiful gift for a lot of people to learn that about you. Like, I want to encourage our students and the people that are listening to us, to get familiar with our charts, because that's also part of what we're here to bring up, that we want to encourage more and more folks to be familiar with uniqueness. So we can do that for you. We really want to empower you through that, but we also want you to recognize over time that you're going to benefit from seeing others too, or at least learning certain things about them so that you can have a deeper appreciation for them, And you said something earlier that really I loved about there's no such thing as too deep. Like, the gift of depth is that truly it's infinite, because there's infinite frequencies. There never has been the same person twice. And we're just in this timeline right now. What about before? Like, it's just the range of human nature is infinite. So yeah, depth is infinite. And it's actually serving us to go deeper. It's serving us to dare to go deeper, So one thing I wanted to share about how aura tuning works, so I love to take my time with whoever is in front of me as a projector. Like, if it's a generator, I'll find the right pace that they really can absorb and respond to what I share with regards to their nature. And then after 90 minutes, I basically, they'll receive the recording of their reading, which happens on Zoom. And then I take the essence of the reading as a projector. I absorb their frequency. Like, I really can feel them, especially if I really look into their details. And then I'll go and I'll record transmission for them. It starts with a guidance. Like, I'll tell you exactly, like, I'll prepare you how to receive this so you can really, it's like having your own sound healing at home. right? You're receiving over email a recording that takes you through this journey into the unknown with me, that I'm just completely trusting that your frequency will come through me, right? And we're talking about depth right now. This is the depth of trusting the magic of being present, the magic of creating on the spot. Everything is created on the spot. Um, it's kind of mind blowing in a way, even to talk about this, because it's just grew through, like I shared earlier, through my own journey of like experimenting and learning about myself and my gifts. But back to the aura tuning. So you are going on this journey into the unknown, and by the time that the journey ends, it's like you've been through hypnosis. And it takes time to digest the journey. And that's where the integration comes. Not right away. Like you receive this and you take your time and you journal. And then a few days later, we meet again on Zoom and we integrate and we extract the medicine for you in that experience. So that's called aura tuning cycle. And the way that I work with people, the way that I'm feeling called to work, because this is always an experimental space, right? So twice a month, you get aura tuning cycles to really keep upping your frequency tuning, right? Well, what we're doing with aura tuning is like we're connecting you with your magic. And it's not an overnight thing, obviously. This not only not an overnight, it's something that takes a long time. It requires a really deep understanding of the magic of contemplation, and also the magic of integration, and the magic of understanding your nature, the magic of like, really reflect on this. And that's part of the developing depth requires from us to really take the time to reflect, which is something in the modern life. Most people, if you challenge them to think about something, sometimes they'll tell you like, don't have the time to go so deeply or to reflect on something, or the spaciousness. I don't have the conditions to reflect, which is really sad. I'm very lucky and grateful that I live in nature. I literally live in nature. I have the ability to be here and to feel myself, which is something that I also investigated for years, that's part of what I need in my nature in order to really be empowered. And through that, I know that it's really necessary to have spaciousness in order to reflect, in order to understand the importance of depth. So aura tuning allows for that. I create that container for you. So if you were to work with me for 3 months or 6 months or a year, you'll see the gradual progression. That's what this offering is about. So I just wanted to touch on that. And I'm curious what's coming up for you right now in this point of this broadcast.
That's great. I think I have all my offerings out at the moment. I'm just working on some new things. So, um, yeah.
Can you tell us more about your website, and where can people find you? Where can they, like, where can they, how can they communicate with you?
Yeah, I'm working on my website. It's under construction at the moment. However, it will be collinrain.com, and there will be a link for that when it's available. So connecting through the website, connecting through my email, and I also have an Instagram as well. And yeah, just reaching out in any of the ways. And if there's any questions or confusion, like just reach out, So
Definitely. And Colleen, do you know when your website will be up, more or less?
in the next week or two.
Okay, cool. Well, anyone can reach out to Colleen on Instagram if you want to talk to her, ask her questions. She's the friendliest person I know. So, don't hesitate to reach out to her if you have any questions about her website. My website is theruticellivortex.com. We're also going to have that in the bottom. My Instagram is Ruticelli. Same on Facebook. I use both because they're kind of different, and for my age group, I feel like it's kind of interesting to be able to connect with, you know, people on both platforms because I find that you can share really deeply on Facebook, and I've had good success with that. I also have a YouTube page. YouTube is a great space to stock your content as a way of, first of all, you can bring lengthy videos like this one. And because as a projector, I've always been challenged with this notion of packaging and like containing my depth. Because again, depth is infinite. It's hard to do that. It's almost kind of like it's impossible. So YouTube allows me for more freedom, and I have quite a bit of work there. So besides the aura tuning work, I'm also a music producer. I have music that I release occasionally that I've been very fortunate to have the background, the musical background, and the training for many years in mixing and in, yeah, like really having this thirst for experimentation. So you'll see some of my produced music. I also release a lot of live compositions, which is something that essentially that's what is in aura tuning. There's live compositions in the moment that's dedicated to the person's frequency that's with me, right? Or that I'm working with, that I'm serving. And on YouTube, you could see a lot of different live compositions that came through me that were transmitted in the moment. And some of them are also tuned to 432 hertz, which is a frequency I really love sharing with people because that's a frequency that helps the body to harmonize with Earth. Because we are the Earth, but it really creates this magical activation of right brain, which is lots of like the connection to our inner knowing, to our inner authority, to our, intuition. Actually, it's a lot of intuition that is activated through the right brain, and creativity and imagination, all this good stuff. So 432 hertz is a highly recommended frequency that I also bring in aura tuning. And yeah, there's some videos of live events that I've done, live sound journeys, or some samples of aura tuning sessions that I've done, one with Colleen as well, that she shared her beautiful testimonial at the end. You can hear that. It was really powerful. And yeah, some other good stuff, some transmissions, some things that I'm feeling in the moment to share. So that's my Ruticelli YouTube page. And yeah, you can always message me through the content, or I believe I have my, there's a way to connect with me on my website, if you have any questions. And also something that I want to mention is to start the aura tuning process, which this is quite important that I mention this. if you're curious to understand how it works and you want to take it slowly, the first thing that I recommend is a life alignment session that I offer for 90 minutes. It's not a human design reading per se, and it's not super transformational. This is just an opportunity for you to get enough understanding of what it's like to work with me as far as my ability to read you. Okay, because I'll look at your chart and I'll share with you the potential that I see in this work together. And if you felt called to investigate further before committing to a long-term ongoing mentorship, then you can try an aura tuning cycle, which is for an entire week. We meet 3 times, and all that's on my website. You can see that. So that's how you can start working with me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to connecting with you. I'm looking forward to this work is really like that's my essence. That's my gift to the world. So I'm excited about it, and I'm grateful to be able to share this with you, everyone, and Colleen. I'm really grateful that we had this fun broadcast. Do you have anything else you want to add before we end?
No, that was beautiful. Just very excited to connect. And yeah, thank you for this space and time to share, back and forth our offerings and to see each other and to just have that recognition is wonderful. So.